Alright, so this is one of my personal worlds from, I don't even remember when I dated this back to, but this is a Greg Tech 6 world, looks like. 2023, 12/6/2023, so almost 3 years ago now. Literally 3 years ago. What is this? Steel nanoscale proc galvanized, also carbon crude. Oh, this was an early steel production area, it looks like. Isolation chamber needed for crucible to prevent death. I remember I watched something about like GTA 6 while I was playing this. Look at this, the coke oven. This is probably one of the farthest I've ever gotten in any GT6 world. You can see I've progressed quite a bit here, like all the machines and everything. Apparently I'm boiling creosote, it looks like. Or I tried to figure out how to do that, but I just couldn't. Nice. What? These are chests. Lead chest, iron chest. My storage room. Really embracing the GT blocks. Ooh. Look at this. Materials. Lots of them. Not really lots, but, you know, start. And here's the isolation chamber, I guess. This is where all the metals are made. Except, you see, every time this thing would explode, like the crucible heats up too hot, and then it explodes, all of this would break. So I used to have one of these here, I think. Now, I switched it out for glass, but I think it still kills you. Unless you're standing behind this thing. I don't remember. I'm not going to find out because I don't want to disturb this world. I can also take you guys to some of the mines. I remember some of them. So there was a few mines that I had in this world. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Look, a mountain base right here. But there's a few mines that I remember going to. I remember there's one. Oh. I take that back. I could have swore there was like one all the way down south, and it's like in a plains biome almost. Maybe that's a different world. What's this? That's lava. I remember exploring quite a bit here. That's this world. We'll check out the next one. I think this was GT6 in 10 minutes. That's what the series was called. And so this is like the bread and butter of like my channel is these tech mods. So like HBM mod, GT, of course less now than it used to be. We're gonna build like a castle here or something. But as you can see, barely progressed compared to the other one. The other one we already had machines, like starting to get machines. Here I was just concerned with playing the game, you know? I don't know what these bushes even are. I think some kind of berry bushes. But this might be where I remember. No, it's a different GT6 world. It has to be. But this is a cool valley here. Look at this. It's actually a valley. Like, that's pretty cool. That's neat. Maybe it was up here, but I remember a mine for copper. And it was like so far south in one of the worlds. And just some resources. Bed, furnaces. What's in the furnaces? Oh, more stone. Wait, what is this stone? Basalt? Basalt 998. Mushrooms can spread through this rough stone. That's a neat world. Alright, so in this pack we only have one world, which I believe this is when I played solo and I didn't really make any videos of it. Yes, it is, I think. I don't know if I made any videos. might have shared screenshots of it. I remember this much. Remember screenshots of this area right here. I just don't remember. Anyway, this is 112 GTC EU, which is GregTech Community Edition. Unofficial. Or whatever. Really didn't build much in this world. Really didn't do much. If you look around, it's just one factory. You know, this is my standard for early GregTech factories is the 6 chunk. So if I hit F9, or actually it's F3 and G, you can see, and it's not even a full chunk, so this is not even the new standards. The new standards, you put the wall on the outside, but in the old standards, you do wall on the inside. It just gives you more space in each chunk if you put the wall on the outside. The idea is you don't want to have your machines over like chunk boundaries, so everything is chunk aligned. Except maybe these could probably be fine, but most machines can't. Actually, scratch it. No, these machines cannot. Do not do that. Do not cross. Well, if it's perfect, like, oh, here's a blast furnace here. Oh, blast furnace here. I don't know. It's this world. I was like, is that a dragon? It's just the bear. Yeah, but not much here. Looks like I had just gotten electricity, which is actually pretty far for a GregTech pack that I was just playing for fun. So here we have 3 worlds. 2 of them are in creative, probably testing worlds, I figure. We hit on this world first. This is a HBM mod pack. Ooh. Oh, this is the world. This is the world right here. This is the world. Everybody remembers this one, right? If you don't, it is one of the biggest worlds or series we ever did. Was this one right here. Now, I'm going to go over a lot of things with this world because there's a lot to go over. Not machine-wise, but like more into the history of the world. So, not really like, not to say that machines, we won't go over some of them. It's just to say that there's some interesting things with this world that you don't, you didn't see necessarily. Which I come back and go, certain things are a little bit, no, not here. Where's it at? I don't even know where it's at. Certain things are a little bit odd, to say the least. Like, where did this come from? Where did this come from? Where's it at? There's some of it somewhere around here. I'm just saying. There's some interesting things that went on behind the scenes. Although, some of those are revealed, I think, in the series. I think when we blew up the RBMK, I did just go clean it up. And it was like, okay, guys, I'm done with this. But this is the first world where we got to the ICF, farthest ever played into HBM. However, we'd never finished the laser for this, which there's still I still have the mod pack and I still have the world. That means there's potential for me to finish this, but we'll see about that in a bit. Obviously, we have this. We have some machinery pieces. I have not actually been downstairs fully yet to check out the stuff downstairs. This is obviously evidence of all of the stupid nuclear activity you guys did not see, where I was blowing up reactors and things left and right. Not PWRs, but specifically RBMKs were the problem, the big issue. PWRs are currently like the main power source in this base, and then Zernox for transmutation. We have the tier 6 anvil. I wonder what that gets you nowadays. Now you don't even need it more than tier 4, really. I mean, tier 4 is really good in the HPM. This is the chemical room. You can see that I think we did blow up a Xernox pretty early on and just left some of the debris. I cleaned that up in survival, I think, but some of the RBMK disasters, I think we did world backups, like when we blew this thing up. We blew this thing up at one point. We did a world backup, and then if we go downstairs, how do you get into that room? The F. How do you get into that room, though? Ooh. Inverted. This room here has an RBMK in it, which blew up. I do not know whether we did creative or if we went and actually, it might have been creative. A creative mode cleanup, but nonetheless, it's not connected to anything. Weird. It's almost like I stopped using it. Here's the what is this? This is for making the stuff. Nowadays, this would all be automated. I think it is all automated. Oh, fullerene. Yeah, this is the stuff. You can tell that I didn't really finish this area. I could have done a lot more work there. It's because I kind of stopped after we made it. It's like, we're never going to get the lasers done. A little bit of work here. This is the early. This is like the first computational system to control my Watts reactor that I created. I don't remember how exactly it works, but it's... Oh, yeah, look at this. Using different toggles instead of the modern T-flop toggles that I use everywhere. These actually would be zero delay toggles, almost zero delay, compared to the T-flop toggles. So it's a little bit simpler, definitely. If you've seen the more recent Watts reactor build in the streams, it is quite ridiculous to compare this because of how much less redstone is used. Although it's the same theories and same principles and all that. Basically, if I were to turn this thing on and shove like 7,000 of the hottest running boron pellets in there, it's going to run and it will be fine. It's just cycles. Although I am kind of skeptical of how well this system worked. I don't remember exactly how well it worked. This room used to be a melting room of some kind. I had like 30,000 and I lagged out of the game. Little cubes that you can connect. I was like, ooh, wow, these are cool. What does it say? Nothing? Is there signs around here? Because we can't really date this world. I don't actually remember what the date of last playing is. I know it went through... Well, it started early in the summer, and then, no, it didn't go through winter. I know that the videos went on till like December. Ooh, euthemium production right here. Fusion reactor, first world for that as well. First world for the big fusion reactor production. Well, second world technically, if you don't consider the what are they called? Kitchen sink mod packs that I used to do. We'll get out that way in a second. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure that's just a coal mine on a platform in the ocean. By the way, the PWR is what I use to do all of the melting on for all of the stuff. Now, if I knew that you could actually automate concrete production like we know now, then I would have done that. This is a massive PWR out here on this platform. Pretty tall. Runs heavy water, of course. Getting the most out of my HEP 239. We're on one fuel rod left. So this powers the entire facility. So we don't have... Oh wait, we do have a cable. Okay, never mind. But this, back in the day, this would just... All of these would be on. This was before HPM said he would try to fix this and remove this, but then he undid that. You could have... So you start the top drill. So what you do is you mine all the other drills, you start the top drill, then you place in the other 2 drills. This one, we place this one in, start it, then we go down to the bottom one, place that one in, and start that one. See, one of the things that, is a side note, but one of the things I really am bothered by in this world is just the absolute mess it is. None of this is the modern standard of what I do. This is not even close to that. This is all poor automation, really random at times. However, it worked, and it did its job, which was the only 2 things I could have asked for. And this facility just basically mines coal and doesn't do anything with the coal. It just turns the products of the coal into other stuff. This is like I think this is like a chicken farm. I think the purpose it serves is that you suck the chickens into the jet engine. So, we'll actually give that a shot right now. I think this is the thing everybody wants to see most of all. Holy crap, that is a lot of eggs. Maybe we could have made the egg solvent here. Egg production. Okay. Okay, men. Follow. Follow. Okay, we got a good variety in there. Close the door. Cool. Then what you do is you hit this switch. You didn't even see it happen. You did not see anything. Oops. 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 Chicken. Oops. Hey, let's finish the job. That's too hilarious. Yeah, nice. That was a food source, obviously. Pretty neat. Oh, look at this. You can see the drills we have. The max tier drills. Really, this was just a coke production area. Just producing coal coke. So then, the other thing, all the way over here, and if we're lucky, we might run into one of the things I was thinking of. This used to be a forest, right? Pretty sure that used to be a forest until I built the thing into it. This was so tiny. I watched one of the videos of it. It was so small when it started out. It was just like not even 2 rooms. We had like, here's the ore processing area. When I first started working on it, nothing. So over here is the starter base. The start of everything. We actually produced chain steel in this building. The first ever chain steel of all time. I actually still have that on my equipment, I think. Where does it say it? Well, basically that gives you radiation for every time you die. So it protects you from dying, but it gives you radiation poisoning every time you die. It increases the radiation it gives you each time you die. So eventually it would just kill you instantly. There's no way to mitigate that. So it was the chains of life. And somebody told me that after the fact, after I'd made all of the 3 chain steel it needed. But the big thing was steel production is easy in this world because all you need is coal coke and a bedrock drill and you have unlimited steel. It's and I haven't found any of the examples I'm looking for, but they are here. Some of them are buried, I think. There is definitely examples of where the watch reactor melted down at some point. In fact, in some of the videos you can even see that it there's just holes in the ground, or you might have missed that there was Watts mud at some places because it blends in with this dirt very well. But I'm really looking around. I think in these hills is probably the best spot to look, or maybe if we walk past the tree farm in that direction, I think that would also be good. And I didn't even show you guys the main oil setup. I didn't even show you guys that. Completely missed the biggest section of the building. It's the main oil setup, which is actually pretty impressive. I was impressed by it. If you come in here, this is the main oil setup. And what I'm really impressed about is the fact that we're producing some hard plastic, technically. And that is all pretty much well stocked. Pretty well stocked for the time period, considering other things were not so well stocked or such. So that's pretty interesting. Also a wood oil setup over here, powered by 2 Watts reactors. For some reason, Watts reactors was my idea. It's just a low enriched rubidium, and it produces no poisonous mud at all. That's why you don't see any poisonous mud pipes. It is just a pellet reactor right there. This is producing petroleum gas for some reason, and this is a very poor setup. But out here, there should be somewhere a hole in the ground. Somewhere. With, this is the right direction. You can see a lot of fallout here. I don't know what happened. Oh, this must have been one of the fallout balls that we threw. Yeah, I'm not seeing any of the, I could have swore there was like, wait, this might be one. You can kind of see some destruction. That's like C4, isn't it? This might have been early on when I discovered C4 was actually pretty valid. I don't know, it was after. This is after. I think. I can't find any examples of what I'm talking about. But there is at least one somewhere. I must have done a very good job cleaning it up in this world. Because there was a lot of it. Oh, is this it? No. Oh, but these holes are the example of what I'm talking about. Holes all over. That is from, this is the key right here. Lots of mud. You can tell because it's cobblestone and all that. There was poisonous mud here once, but I buried it. Most interesting world though, for sure. A lot to talk about. But let's see the other ones. So we have 2 testing worlds. I think one of them is just for reactors and the other one was for something else. And this would be around the time period of the search for... These are extensive, if I remember correctly. But the search for... yeah, these are boring. This is just the testing world. Yeah, let's continue. Alright, so we got some classical humor here. This was a couple days ago. I opened it just to check it. I don't actually know. This is probably an old... No, it would have been 2024. Wait, did that date say 2024? I don't even know. But this world, I played with my friends. I don't think I actually made videos of it. Obviously, we have... this is HBM's nuclear tech mod Space Fork. So this is early in its development. We made this world. Like when it first came out and everybody was like, oh, you should be playing Space Fork, you know? You should play Space Fork. And it was like, maybe eventually. We have our oil setup here, it looks like. Oh, look at this, the old oil derrick, ooh. That's like the last thing we did was starting to set up the crucible and everything. We made a dirt base with a cobblestone roof. This is pretty neat. I like this. You can even see like we put a little bit of time into it. It's a classical architecture from a very old world. This is like this references like one of the older worlds that I had. Not necessarily that it is an older world, it's that it references to one. Just the dirt house itself with the cobblestone roof. It's reference to the first factory, which had a dirt roof and was made of schist. Here's the arc furnace. I did not build this, otherwise it had graphite electrodes. I did build the base though, I remember that. I built it out of dirt. What's it? No. Sure, lithium ion battery. I don't remember who built that. I think it might have been... I think I know who actually built it. I think it was... I think it might have been either... I think it was Nuna who built it. Over here. Vacant. Fade's cell. So I played this with friends. It was like we did used Radman VPN. So this is Fade's cell. That's where he lives. Then add TSD, who has pretty much the biggest room. And then you can come inside and just fill with like all this garbage. We just filled everything with garbage. Then we have the lounge. I didn't even check this one recently. It's literally just a lounge. Literally just a lounge. Bobcat's Freak Cave / guest room. 3 beds right there. Somebody took a bed from here. There would have been like 4 beds. I don't think he actually joined this world. There was some servers that he would join. This is, oh, we didn't even check. This is Nuna Nutjob's Nut House. Nut for the faint of heart. You can even see down. There's something going on under there. You just put a cable straight through this room. That was my doing. The best part is that you can literally see that there's more over there and stuff. What's in this area? Anything funny? No, just some regular odds and ends. But arguably the best door compared to these ones. Probably also this one in style. Here's the legal establishment. It's this is my area. Legal establishment. Employees only. Employee S only. Beat it, punk. And then making mug root beer in the basement. that's so goofy. Then this goes up into somebody's room. I'm pretty sure. It's a secret access to the vacant. So you can sneak into vacant if you wanted to. It's pretty funny. But this was my area. And then the other thing we discovered is that you can literally place the grates onto anything. If you see here, this is like the bottom half of the door. So that means this is literally in the same block as the bed. And the chest. So that was something I was playing around with at the time. Was those. Because I had just learned about that and I was like, oh, what could I do it to? Everything. Literally everything. Probably the carpet. You can do it to the other ones as well. Messages. Oops. Yeah, and then obviously here's the other issues that only those can spawn. So that means that only HBM creepers are going to spawn on the Mushroom Island. That means the only thing here is going to be those. So you pretty much have to deal with those. Now, there's the other area down here, which is the Crucible. I don't know why it has 3 fireboxes. I just know that it does. I guess we really wanted to produce hematite into iron ingots really badly. Or maybe somebody was expending all of it. I'm also not even sure why I have diamond tools. This is weird. But this is the mine. And you can see that this connects up to the basement. Or actually, to the surface, it would appear. We had a pretty rudimentary oil set up for products. I'm not sure what's going on here. Not sure what this is. But, yeah, that's pretty much this world. Here is an old build of Supersymmetry. This is very old. It has a bunch of mods that are random, super random seeming. The super flat is from how it's gragged, and then the new Supersymmetry RTG world is my second playthrough of Supersymmetry. I don't know what happened to the first one. I'm assuming it was on an old version, older than this one. And then I was just like, there's no point in keeping this. I'm never gonna update it, because I'm never gonna play it again. So that is why I only have this one. That is not even to consider the third one. The third one was just so early on that I was like, this was not even a series. Just not even bother. This world, however, we got very far. This was the farthest I've ever gotten in supersymmetry to date. My latest attempt, the 4th supersymmetry world. We got pretty far on that one, but it was just, I got bored. I don't know what it is about HPM mod, but I'm able to play that forever. And just still not get bored with that. This, too easy to get bored with. This is, that might be, they're gonna be like, make fun of me, but, to be fair, this is not necessarily the most exciting. I only played it because it sometimes is pretty exciting when you are like, oh, hey, once you get to a certain point, it gets exciting, you know? Once you start, like, doing, like, stainless steel and things, it's like, man, I gotta build 3 of these, but I can do it in 5 seconds. And, this is a mess, but somehow you can still get through the spaghetti. Of course, this is not to the modern standard. We don't do spaghetti nowadays. I think this is my, this was after Rubylith, so one of the things that's interesting is that I never did Rubylith because I had already made the circuits, and then I updated, and they added Rubylith, and I was like, okay, this literally ruined everything. There's not much reasons left to play. Well, I think in the series I did discuss that they added a Rubylith, and I kept playing past it. I was just like, I'm not going to do Rubylith, guys. It was really stupid back then, too. I don't know if it's changed. This was my early titanium stuff, right? I don't even know how this works. If you asked me how this works, I wouldn't even be able to tell you, but early titanium, this is, ow, lava piping, ow, and all kinds of, what is this, oxygen? But this is power production for everything. Very early on, we used, superconductors extensively. Magnesium diboride wires. Well, this is late, actually. Late game we got to that. That's why my most recent 4th generation supersymmetry world, we started using them earlier. We started with the LV ones. These superconductors are very good in this, okay? Let me just say that. Do not do 10,000 turbines like I had originally done, because then you'll start running out of steam really fast. This is like the first crafting area I made, and connects into this area almost. Lots of doors everywhere in case bandits show up, which they will eventually. If you play it for enough time, they show up. This is for chromium, I'm pretty sure. Don't ask me how I remember that. I don't. Polytetrafluoroethylene. Don't remember what this is. Cryogenics and magnesium diboride, I think. And then also some methane production. I was gonna say, methylamine. I don't even remember what it is. Some kind of distillation tower, very early oil setup of some kind, because I was like, oil. Yeah, let's get into oil for some reason. There's no point in that. Cryogenics, again, for magnesium diboride, which is the biggest area, like the biggest area of like our production is magnesium diboride. Oh, here's how you get into here, and there's the infamous bacon strips. Bacon strips. If you're wondering what bacon strips means, it's literally just the this pattern naturally generates of gneiss and soapstone. This is ore processing. It's a spaghetti mess, but of course you can see the spaghetti and it looks really cool from the outside, looking in through the windows. That was one of the things I really liked, was putting in those. Like, take a look at it. You can even see the little furnaces here, the blast, not so little primitive blast furnaces. And that is just using the early game, or the early processing. I think that's why I stopped playing the more recent supersymmetry, because I can't automate steel. Look at this. This is automated steel using XNet. I didn't do it using the method I talked about though for some reason. I think maybe earlier. No, I just used XNet in this world. Yeah, I'm not staying there. I'm getting out of there. Stop. Stop. Jesus. I don't remember the way out. That's too dangerous for me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to leave. That's the back rooms right there. That's what we call those, the back rooms. That's the sign that you saw earlier that says the back rooms. Where the heck is it? What's it? Move it! I hate that. Anyway, this is my trophy room. We were gonna do the periodic table of elements here, which we had a pretty good start at it. Boron, nitrogen, or boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Looking pretty good there. Then on these rare metals that you can make, which you probably shouldn't be able to, but I made them anyway. This is blue steel. This is what is this even? I don't even know. This is some kind of cobalt brass. Rare metals that I made, which I didn't need to, but I made them anyway. Black bronze. Sounds like some mythical metals right there. Aluminum processing was like really early in the playthrough. Here's a backrooms access. The backrooms, infamous, right? Infamous. Let's get out of here before we perish. That's where all of the secret spaghetti goes. But that's pretty much it. All I have in this world is that. Alright, so these are going to be some of the earliest worlds that we look at today. These are going to be like dating to 2023, 2022, I believe. So this, and we're going to look at this section of the world, and we're going to look at a different version of this world, I think. I don't remember if it's a world or, I think it is a world. So this was an Aternos server that I downloaded to my PC, and I've already done a little bit of looking around in this, but we're at the base I was mentioning. So that base in that Spork world we saw earlier is a reference to this base, because this base had some fond memories. This was one of my first serious HBM worlds that I did. I don't remember what else I was doing at the time, because obviously I don't know if I was playing HBM for a series at the time. What the heck is this? But we had Bobcat show up in this world. We had so much different things going on. I might have made videos of this. I don't think I did though. I don't think I did. This is a mess. This was like, I think this was the bedroom area. But we got into a massive battle against the Glyphids, which was... This was early Glyphids. We didn't even know what the heck Glyphids were, even. We placed down these chlorine seals and just set those up. These doors would have been side by side, but I'm not sure why they're like that right now. Food, enjoy. There's not even any food. Not even any food. This is also a super early version of HBM compared to what we have now. If you compare this to now, this is very early. Well, not really early. HBM's been around for a long time. We placed down so much stuff, though. We had poison wires, and you can see some of the aftermath of it. This must have been during the cleanup, too. So we blew up an area with C4. There's Glyphids all up in there. I think that nest we might have left them because we wanted them to come back. There's a hole where we were doing bedrock drilling. I'm curious. That's where the oil setup was. It was on top of this hill here. I have screenshots of every single thing that happened in this world. on my Discord server. You can check those out if you want to see this world when it was actually existing. That is the RBMK. We left that there. It was used as a solvent irradiation channel. So basically, we'd take chlorinated wax and put it in. I like this section too. This was not always cobblestone, but it was grass at one point. What are these? RT generators? This was like my bedroom, I think. I had like barrels of like different oil products because we were so bad at it. We were so poorly managing the oil that it ended up just being in my room. We had barrels of it. It gets clogged, just put a barrel in my room. However, eventually this would turn into a finalized building with a massive underground basement right here. Now, if we head off in that direction, which we're going to do in a second, we'll take a look at the Zernox. What I'm really curious of is this the world that HBM colonized this section, I think. I think he traveled down this way. Because this is the only world he played in, because we were kind of jerks. I think we launched a rocket at one point in his backyard. But yeah, he built his area down there, and it was a massive house. I would have seen it by now. Which, we'll take a look at the more modern save of this world. I think it is more modern. I don't know. But it will be in a future section. We'll go over that. It'll be pretty much the same as what we've seen here, but... Oh, it's on hard mode, isn't it? That's interesting. Here, let's just go ahead and use the secret trick. Since I don't want to explore this one in survival. The reason I stopped playing this world is because I can't get the actual player data to register correctly because it was a server. So that means that even though I have tried to kind of fool the system and make it the player data back, it does not work. Oh, look at this. You can see the actual destruction here. Look how many glyphid nests there is. There's like 3 of them right there. Did we even clear this one out? Oh yeah, we did. We got that one. It was like... They're stacked on top of each other. This was like we let them get out of hand, and then they just kind of showed up one day and kind of just popped out of nowhere. We didn't even realize. Actually, it might have been that somebody lured them over here, but we left through here. This is where we left through. So we pretty much dug a tunnel under the ground, packed up, ran out this way, placed boats down, and headed in this direction. So we're going to check this way. And if we're lucky, which we probably are. What is this? This is bedrock ore. No, this is just like a checkpoint or something. Oh, this might have been a, this was a mine from somebody. I don't remember how many people we had in this world. I think it was just the 3 of us, maybe? It might have been more. Here's another one. These are just like guiding. Just a little low point in the water. But it's literally directly in this direction. We just travel out in the ocean. And we set up a new base on the island. Now, I don't believe this base exists right now in this save. Or does it? It does. So this is the full scale of the base. So after we left this place, we took everything down and left and went back. So we just showed up, set everything up. We're like, nice. Yeah, you can see this place is pretty interesting. But this is where my player data would be at. Somewhere in this area. On this little island base. It's pretty neat, I like it. Wearing Desh armor. Because that's what I used to do, was only wear the Desh armor. Because I wouldn't even charge it. And here we just blew up tons of explosives under the ground for no reason. I think this was to look for bedrock ores. I'm not even sure. I just know that this is another one of those coal drills that doesn't do anything really. It just drills coal, and I was like, yeah, we could produce power out of coal. Let's boil water using the coal we drill. It literally doesn't do anything. It's a net negative for energy. It's just an energy sump. But if we head in this direction, there is an oil setup that should exist, but no, it doesn't exist in this version. I would tell because there was a cable that we had assembled right here, and it connects to the bedrock oil that goes all the way out that way. It doesn't exist, so this world is not as progressed as I remember. The other world we have is also in survival mode. Let's check this one out. Ah, this world. This is an early version of another world we're going to see later. Now, I'm not sure the differences between... Oh, I actually am sure the differences. But this is when pollution first came out, and this world's pretty old, probably. Wait, what does that waypoint say on it? 9:20. Hold on. 23. So September 21st, 2023. This oil setup got hit by a meteor at one point. This is not even finished. There's supposed to be a Xernox here. There's a actual one of the things that flies up and down. One of the things that you need an HTR carrier rocket for, but then HBM removed them, and I stopped playing this world. This is like early steel production. Like, this is the worst way of producing. Well, what are we doing? We're taking coal ash and hematite, I think, in this setup and producing steel. That's not bad, actually. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good way of making steel. I think we should start doing that. Take hematite and then turn it into that and start dumping ash into it. That's a pretty small little world, though. There's not much to say about it. Alright, so in this one, we're going to see a more up-to-date HBM version compared to the other one. So that one was a lower version of HBM. We should have both of those same worlds on this one. I'm pretty sure what we saw in that first world is the same as what we're going to see in this one, except this one is in creative mode already. So that's wonderful. I mean, that makes things easy, but we'll see if it has any of the newer, more modern stuff. I remember that we had started on more later period of stuff. It also has another world, so we're gonna see all of those today, because it has MC Heli installed. That means it's going to have that other world, so we're gonna see all of them. Might even have another world in there. Who knows? Alright, so this is the one we just saw before this one, so we'll take a look at those two last, but this is the new world that we're going to check out. And we're getting close to the end of all the worlds I have that aren't other mods that nobody would care about, and are also not that old. Like, some of them date to 2024. This world, however, is one of the other big worlds. This came before my ICF world, before I went and made attempted to make the inertial confinement fusion reactor. You see a lot of weirdness going on in this world as well. You will also see that this world is a mess compared to modern standards. What is this, Mars stone? Did I go to Mars? I might have. No, I don't think I did, but we had Galacticraft installed. This was before Space Fork even came out. We're not going to the Nether, okay? But we're going to check out. And this is also a really old version of the Terra Drill before the texture got updated on it, and before it got removed. So, that's interesting. This is a sugarcane farm. Pretty sure. It got hit by the Watts reactor accident that happened off camera. What does this even produce? I could not tell you what it produces because I do not know what it produces. Industrial Generator Memorial. Holy crap, this world has it. It has the Industrial Generator Memorial. It was made when the industrial generator was still around. In memory of all that we have lost. That's great. Love that. Also the first world that I started experimenting with the red key. Or red keys, to say the least. This is a coal setup, I'm pretty sure. Really weird coal setup. I don't remember about this. I don't know. Wait, this is bauxite. This is for aluminum. This was early. That's the tunnels. We'll get into those in a second. Those are interesting. This is wood oil, and you see another industrial generator. Maybe that's what made me stop playing this world. Well, it would have been the Watts reactor meltdown. I think we had several Watts reactor meltdowns that led to stuff like this existing, which literally eats a hole through everything. So if we head down here, there is no hole because it can't eat through those blocks, I guess. I don't know. This is like sulfuric, nitric acid, and peroxide. Here's the tunnels. Awesome. Looks like super GTH in those tunnels. Except for here, this tunnel looks like some Fallout stuff, but I was like, oh, these look cool, let me try them out, and they don't actually do anything. Then this is the cobblestone room. I don't know anything about that room. I don't know what the joke is. There was probably a joke for that. Overall, it's not a bad build. It's just tunnels. That section is literally a dead end, although you can see I was starting to work in two directions here. I was starting to go this way with the tunnels, and then this way with the tunnels. So I was starting to look in both directions to kind of extend my tunnels so I could build a new facility, which I think I remember what it was gonna look like in my head, but I don't. It was gonna be like a massive building here. Okay, just a pretty large area. Now, we'll go into that area through the basement as well, just to check it out. I think that's what the minecarts are for, is for transporting that. You can see more Watts mud from the Watts mud off-camera accident. It might have been off-camera. I don't remember if it... Well, it was definitely replaced off-camera, for sure. I don't think I've ever done an on-camera Watts reactor replacement. I think that's... I'm not going to say I've never done it. I'm just going to say that it's probably not something I would have done. It more than likely is something I didn't do. If we head this way, we're going to the reactor plant. I think this doesn't extend into that area. You can see here, this is how I transported radioactive materials in these days of Dash steam suit. Oh, even look at the Chicago piles here. This is also how I disposed of nuclear waste, as I would do this. It all gets dispensed in the fire. Evaporated. This is the Fallout generator. We don't go in there, otherwise you suffer immensely. But that's where all the Fallout's made, and then it's sentenced to power generation, and then being recycled autonomously. And I have to be very careful. Now, the reason there's all of these here is so that way if it does form on top of these, you can just shovel it and it just falls right off. Surprise, we do not have a HEV suit. Although I figure what happened was I fell into Watts mud and lost it if I had an HEV suit. It's kind of a disappointment, but maybe I just didn't make one. Here's the Watts disaster. You can see that this was a terrible disaster. If we head upstairs, there is pretty much this world was looking, or this world looks like it was going to be really advanced. You can also see a tunnel I dug to fight Mask Man, back when that was cool. So this world was actually on track to be a pretty good world. because we had the FEL right here set up. We even have the cyclotron. I'm not sure how this stacks compares to. No, it doesn't compare to the more modern world that I have. But in the ICF world, you can see the difference between that one and the new one, the newer one. Here's the Watts reactor. Yes. Beautiful. I also don't know why I'm doing that over there. I also don't see a research reactor, which is something that is required to be on the track. Well, this was before I discovered plutonium-239. Is actually pretty useful. But this thing's the starting of super nuclear power, I suppose. Before I really understood how to get the Watts to be a super powerful machine, this is what I had. a stupid Watts setup. This is also a world where I have an RBMK, which is running right now. Tantalum capacitors, niobium capacitors, which was one of the big productions we had, was tantalum and niobium. I think we even drilled the tantalum out of the ground in this world. We have Zernox, of course, and finally, which I don't understand this, but apparently I use just an infinite water tank for all of them. RBMK. I think it's just because I didn't want to do a cooling loop, I just decided to do 3 gas flares. This was before the drains came out, I guess. Or maybe I didn't believe in drains and I just thought it looked cooler. Who knows? But that's pretty much all this world has. Other than the Jupiter biome, I suppose. And the oil setup over there. The oil setup is not interesting. It sucks. But the Jupiter biome is interesting, because this was when HBM added in some interesting, added in the biomes, and the biome IDs conflicted with extra planets, and then this happened. This was when he added in the crater biome, which only is generated by nuclear explosions. But because the IDs conflicted, the game rearranged all of the IDs, and so now we have been gifted with a Jupiter biome on Earth. And if we zoom out, oh, we missed the 2 bases. There is 2 different bases that are also in this world that are also historical. So we have, I believe there was a base that I was working to assemble super early on in this world, way over here, and I got, right here. I got overrun by glyphids because I didn't care to actually deal with them. So now there's just 6 glyphid nests there. And then over here, this base really got overran by glyphids. And then I went all the way over here, built stuff, went back down and blew up all the glyphids. We're not going to check these out. They're not that interesting. They're just... This one is probably more interesting than the other one. If we were to go check one out, this is the most interesting of them. I don't have a helicopter with me that we can fly over there, but actually I do. I don't have any fuel with it, though, so... We're not going to go check it out. We're just going to go say that it exists. We don't need to see it. Right? Right? Maybe you guys want to see it, but I don't really want to show it off. It's not that interesting. And here's more of the Watts mud that probably killed me. And that one actually falls onto it looks like it's the uranium drill I might have set up. I think I was drilling uranium out of the ground at one point. That's pretty interesting, though. Let's check out the other 2, see if there's any differences. So this one is the one we already checked out, where we had the dirt house almost, or the dirt roof island base, though. I think this is less progressed than what we saw. But there's no actual thing here. So that means it's same progression that we saw earlier. Unfortunately, nothing new to say about this one. That also means I can't even confirm if there is the HBM base. I mean, you know, the mod developer's base. He did play in this world. I'm telling you guys. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. And then here's the one that actually is surprising because it does have new features in it. I load it up, and you can see we are on this thing. This is interesting because the Zernox is here. All of the things that are here are here. And then we also have that, which is interesting. Is that this is actually a thing in this world, surprisingly. I didn't think this existed in this world because I thought that I quit this world because you couldn't make the HTR carrier rocket. However, he must have changed that after I'd gotten one, because that was a change that had happened at one point. That's where I started making strontium over there. So I'm drilling more oil out of the ground apparently there. There's not really much to say about this world. I think I added a storage area down here. You can see where the industrial generator was so heinously taken from us. That was the primary power source for this base. Was industrial generator and Zernox reactor, but Zernox doesn't make much energy. A lot more advanced in this area. I think the chem plants cost exorbitantly more in this version. RBMK. I had started messing around with oh, these are just asbestos blocks. And you can even watch this world. There's videos of this world where I'm actually building this. This is one of the ones that you can watch. I did play it for videos. I don't know what this machine is. Oh, it's not a machine, is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. This is just an underground storage area, I suppose, and I have it covered in wood in this area for some reason. This is my death chamber. So if I needed to die because I had radiation poisoning, that's where I would go. So my stuff stayed in one spot and I didn't lose anything. Do we have anything upstairs? Oh, we do have something. No, never mind. There's nothing up the stairs. It's literally just, I think it's the bedroom at the very top. It kind of overlooks the area. It's pretty cool. Not really. It's super primitive looking. What's these signs say? Diamond magic, vroom vroom, unga chunga. And here is bad example of steel production. How do you make steel more badlier? Let's take flux and hematite and then cast them into iron ingots, and then waste all of my coal coke to make carbon. So it's 1 coal coke to each iron ingot. That is terrible. This place is absolutely the example of what not to do in HBM mod. Now, with the ash method made sense. Okay, I'll be honest. Ash and hematite kind of makes sense. That doesn't make sense. That's trash. And trash to steel production right there. This is the Zernox, and it was the first time I realized you could automate the Zernox, and it looks really ugly in my opinion, but it got the job done. So that is this world. Compared to the other world where it didn't have that, you could just see the mound developing, and you didn't even see the mound developing here. This is a lot more progressed. I'm also not certain of what else is in this world. I think we had to travel far, it looks like, to get to here. I actually don't think there's bauxite in this world either. I think there's no bauxite in this world. But let's check out another one. I think I have a few more that we can check out that are in the tech area. Okay, so the final world I have that's kind of related, barely, is very interesting. It's a redstone testing world. This is probably the oldest. I think this one is 2022. We will see. It's on 119.2. Might have been 2023. I think all of these could have been 2023. I don't know if I have any of the 2022 saves or anything earlier than that. I think 2022 I didn't even, well, I had just started playing HBM in the kitchen sink pack. Computer world. Yes, these are old worlds that are not going to exist. But what is going to exist is this world here. This world is extensive. and it surprised me a lot. I guess I did make a lot of computer videos where I was going over how we would build computers in Minecraft, and I'm actually surprised by how many I had built. In fact, I'm surprised by some of these. What even is this one? I don't even know how these work. Like, what are we doing with these? I mean, like, if I built it now, I'd be like, oh yeah, I know exactly how this works, but I don't know what this is doing. Like, what are these supposed to do? Why aren't they connected to anything? And also, that was supposed to be the next generation of them, but it's already been outdone by my current paper copy, which is literally just a blueprint that shows what the next generation is supposed to be of those. I suppose if we turn this thing on, I guess it does stuff, but I don't remember the procedure to turn it on to make it do stuff without it breaking, so we're not going to do that. I don't think they can break that easily. I think I did design them with a lot of genius in them. This is 119.2? Yes, it is. It's just weird because I don't remember these pistons having this on the back of them. Odd. But all these instant repeaters should still work, I hope. I don't think this one's finished, because it would have cables that connect out to these. But it does not have those, so that means maybe it was going to be connected to something else, but it just didn't ever happen. It didn't get finished with it. I know this one looks finished, though. I am quite curious what any of this means here. Wait, this is like numbers, probably. It's probably like the opcodes, or like what I thought that would be, but I didn't really understand it. Adding and subtracting, all these machines are capable of that, except for the first one. The first one only was capable of addition. All of the subsequent machines were capable of, quote, adding, quote, and subtracting, quote. Yeah. Pretty extensive. If you were to ask me what any of this does right now, I didn't build this machine recently, so I can't actually explain it. Although, maybe I could try to look through it. I mean, these just look like piston columns to send the signal down. That's something I really wish we had in 1.7.10. It'd be really useful. But, I'm sure you can just use redstone over radio in 1.7.10. That works pretty good. I think this might be the data storage area. No, that'd be this big copper area. This big block right here. Look at this mess. This is a mess right here. But this is the storage area for information. Now, what that information means, that's all up to your interpretation. Because it literally literally doesn't mean anything. See, the reason it doesn't mean anything is because there's no point in it. It doesn't have any meaning. There's no quantifiable reason for this information to exist. It's just random information. It hasn't been assigned a meaning. So therefore, what is its meaning? Right? Like that's what the problem with all of these computers is that all of these, I think that's what I named it. It is Enigma. That's stupid. Stupid. But all of these machines don't do anything with the information. There's no input or output. It's just to say that, oh, well, we have a 1 and a 0 and a 1 and a 0 stored on this thing here. This is a 24-bit machine, I think. I think that's what this is. 24-bit. And I think this was the first time I was experimenting with RAM. So that's just a register, but this was supposed to be RAM, essentially. Now how that works, I actually don't have any idea. Or this was going to be a register or a ROM, which could be inputted into that. I don't know. This is quite complex. Now I can tell you, this is the multiplexer bank, which basically says splits A's and B's and all of that, and basically selects what's going into the bank. It just selects the information we're putting in, because it does all of the information all at once. So my system always takes information and then does every operation on it all at the same time, all in sync. And then we decide what if that information means something using the multiplexer, basically selecting what information I care about, saying this goes in here. And then it's usually controlled by the ROM. Unless this is supposed to be a control unit, which it could be. But that would probably be this block on the top right here. This is the control unit, I think. I'm pretty certain of that. Because this doesn't make any sense. This actually looks like some kind of converter for hexadecimal. I don't even know. And then I don't know what this is, but it looks like an extension of some kind of ROM up here. So this would be the actual ROM which operates the machine. So let's see what it does if I were to... Actually, I take that back. I don't even know how to start that thing. I just know that this thing exists. This also looks like it's a second control unit, which might correspond to that information there. Which might mean that this is all the control unit on the top. And it extends down using these pistons to send information downwards. I think that's how this works. So information goes up to the control unit and then it's sent back down, and it's like, oh, do this, do this, do this. Then the opcodes are how that information is read in these blue stained glass columns. So that means that each of these basically tells it what to do. Like, it breaks down the 24 bits it has, but the problem is that none of that information is quantifiable in any capacity. Like, none of this information has a meaning. So, like, literally it just is doing random things with that information. It's like, alright, we received this information this time. So it will always run the same sequence, potentially. Unless it gets different starting information, but then it will just run it in the same pattern it did before. Because that's a control unit using data that it already has, which doesn't make much sense, I don't think. I don't really understand. My brain does not get that far. My brain is not that far in how the control unit is supposed to integrate into the machine. This looks like a simplified version. Less bits. This looks like a standard 16 or 8-bit machine. It looks like an 8-bit machine. Yeah, it's an 8-bit machine. If it's got 9... Now this is actually really simple. I like this one. Because the ROM is on this side. All of the cool stuff, the registers and all of the adding and stuff, the multiplexer. Every machine has a multiplexer. Every machine has the units here. If it doesn't have a logic unit, it at least has an arithmetic unit, which is literally just to say it's a calculator. This is... I'm not sure what this is. This is like the... Is this the control unit? And then... This is the ROM? I don't even know if this is finished, but... I guess if we pull a switch, we can find out what it does. It did something. It turned on this thing, and then... I don't know. Let's just turn that off. Ah, look at that. It does work. Turn that one on. I don't know what that does. Give it a minute. Turn that one on. Oh, it did something. Ooh, turn this one on. Turn this one off. Ah, I don't even know what this is doing. This world is the one I can say the most about because they're like, there's too many machines here. Oops, turn the same one on twice. Yep, good idea. I'm sure if we flick the switch too fast, we can break all the pistons in it, but... That's interesting. That's like the most confusing setup of all time. And I think this is like my central area. Oh, look at this, there's a map of it all. I don't know how up to date this is, but you can even see where some dumbness happens. It's a B. So that's over there. So we just saw all of this. We didn't see, apparently this map's not up to date with the new computer. This is like a very early design, is this roller reader thing. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be the first prototype for the computer. We're just gonna read rolls. No, that doesn't work. This is the first computer compared to this computer. The profile is way different because this one's all vertical. It's still probably just as large as this is. This is actually tiny because there's not much there. However, this one is probably my favorite one. We'll check that one out in a bit. I don't know. I might like this one though. The one we just saw over there. I might like that one. Oh, pretty good. That one's pretty much the same as this one. Just slightly different. We'll go check this one out. So the first one, integrate, it was just the experiment. It was just me figuring out what I was even doing to Like, look at this. Look at this. Tiny. The biggest piece is the registers, and then I have registers at the start and the finish, which makes no sense at all. And that's supposed to be the control unit, I think. I don't understand how the controls work. I think it did get subtraction. It probably didn't get subtraction because it wasn't something I understood yet. But I always said that to subtract, you just add a bit. Now, if I press the button on this, I think this is a clock, so that's gonna run. There's a button on this that does the whole thing. I think somewhere in here, there's a button that runs it. If I go over to here, there's a button. Is there a button? Let's press one of these buttons and find out what it does. This one has numbers on it. Ooh. Do I have to press both of the buttons? What if I have to pull a lever? Let's push the lever and see what happens. Oh, look, it's doing something. It's adding. It's actually doing numbers right now. But this is what I mean. It's not quantifiable numbers. Because that doesn't mean anything to me. That literally doesn't mean anything to me. Turn it off. Does it do anything when I turn it off? Oh, it goes up again. No, it goes back down to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Oh, okay. So I press the number again. Press the button again. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 0, 0, 0. Ah, well, let's press this button and then press that button. See if it does anything different. Oh, looks like it's doing 3s now. Interesting. Let's flip the switch instead. And then we'll just start pressing the green button. 2, 2, 2, 3. Wait, the first ones are 1, 1, 2, 1, 0, 2, 2, 0. And then if I press this button, does it do anything? I don't think it does, but what will do something is if I turn that off, then go over to the red clock over here, which doesn't have a thing on it. Then head back over there, and then see if it does anything. And it probably will do something, I think. Yeah, because the clock increments that, right? It does something. Then turn on the red one. And it will be doing something now. 2, 2, 2. This one's at 1, 1, 2, 1, 0, 2, 2, 0. I don't know what that means. I don't know how it works. Somebody please help me with the user manual. Wait. Does it do something? It did nothing. It did literally nothing. This blue section is to interpret the information. Ah, are these are supposed to do something? And state, or state, all state. I don't even know. At this point, I don't even know. It's just not doing anything. Oh, wait a second. So the green presses down the piston, which means that right now this is overloaded by red. So red's a shut off, basically. So red just shuts everything down, but green is what actually fires it. So if I press the green button, that puts down the piston. It should have. Yes. So now it's incrementing. Apparently it's going to be reading through every line of information inside of it. And if we look over there, it's doing something now. It's at 1. Okay. It's at 0. Okay. It's at whatever the next line of code is supposed to be. And technically, you could program this. I'm pretty sure it just adds the same number to itself right now. This one's actually programmable and has an actual display for the numbers. Although, it really doesn't do much, in my opinion. I don't even know what this block is. What is this? Like some kind of what is it? I mean, I can't really pick it, but it's one. And what line of code is it on? Because you can tell the information just by looking at it. Currently, it's locked, so it's not at any lines of code. Or maybe it just runs one. I don't have it programmed to do anything. Oh, that sucks. And this is just a schematic of how it's supposed to look. And if you look at that, it actually turned out pretty good. It looks like it mimics exactly what this looks like. It's just staying at 1. So, I mean, this is interesting, but I don't have journey map, so I can't actually show you any more. I think there's something else in this direction, but I don't think there's any computer related or more computers. There might be. This was like a map of ternary, I think, but I'm not sure. That's not a computer. That's supposed to be a full-scale display, so I could actually make a game, which was a project I was going to attempt. But this was like the ternary gates, or it was an attempt at ternary gates. BC, AB, AC, which is to take in 3 different inputs. It's so confusing. I don't understand it yet. False, all true. So this was called, it's another logic gate. I don't know what it means. But that's to say that I did understand how the logic is supposed to work. I just don't really know what any of this means. And this takes 4 inputs, not 3. But that might mean it just needs to be connected in a certain way. It needs to be wired to only have 3 inputs. But that's really confusing. Because having 3 different inputs, it's like, how do you even think of this? And then I started using UBC, UBA. So then it'd be like undefined BC, undefined BA. So this means this one handles 6 different types of logic in one system. You just have to say that, oh, it's doing unknown B and C, unknown B and A, or something. It's weird. Unknown A, unknown B, unknown A, unknown C, unknown C, unknown B, unknown C, unknown A, which would be the same as unknown A, unknown C. Unknown A, unknown C, unknown B, which I was using unknown for my 3rd option in my ternary. So A would be, or no, there'd be true, false, and of course, this just means unknown A, unknown B, and unknown C. So all of those inputs are going to be unknown, and the output's unknown. But the output's known because it's just a way of saying, oh, we don't actually have. So there's true, false, and unknown. That's the system, okay. But A, B, C is just where the actual thing falls. So unknown falls in A, unknown falls in C, and then unknown is on the B as well. And then here's A, B, C, which I guess is the most simple because that means it's just A, B, C. Not unknown A, unknown B, unknown C. Unknown A, unknown B, unknown C. Which is different from unknown A, unknown C, unknown B. Somehow. And that is all mapped out there somehow. Or was going to be. And then here's just regular binary gates, it looks like. However, some of these fall into the ternary world. So then we have false A, unknown X, which I don't know what that even means. I don't even know what it was supposed to do. Same, only C. BA same, only C. That sounds useless. But it was a map of every single type of logic, so then we could put it into a system. And it was going to be that. But then I just realized I don't even have any idea what I'm doing, and there's nobody who can teach me this. Unless there is. And then if there was somebody who could teach me the ternary logics, that'd be interesting. But the thing is that I don't think anybody's interested in ternary. So I don't think anybody could teach me that. And that's why this exists, is that it was going to be my ternary computer. But I figured it was just going to end up like the other ones, where really it's unsubstantial and useless. Because even though it exists, even though it's a machine that works, there's no usages for this machine. It has no usages. Literally, the data has no value. There's no quantification of what that data means. It just exists. Which is to say that all of these machines are incredibly useless and unnecessary. So, especially this one. This one didn't even do anything, really. It just showed off the basics of adding numbers, which all of these are your adder units, and then I had double stacked them, apparently. So that is an absolute mess. But that gave me the idea to do A and B on 2 separate lines. I mean, we got somewhere. We got somewhere with some of this stuff. Some of this stuff did make progress. Some of it didn't make progress. Some of this, like this thing. What the heck is this thing? What is this? And then we also have all this writing everywhere about what is this? Is this a different adder type design? I don't even know what this is. This was probably a prototype for adder, maybe subtraction added in there. Some weird kind of ritual room of some kind. I don't even. This was an area where I would pretty much just do like the intro to the video. Alright, so here behind me we got this new computer here. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, nice. Yeah, but that's every world I've ever played in, for the most part. What is this? That's a throwback right there. Throwback. See you all in the next one.